So we've heard about how you've ended up in the role and position you are today. So can you take the viewers through what an average race day would look like?
Sure. So I would say there's sort of two types of days that we go through. The first being sort of a setup day,
Sure.
where we're taking samples of our fresh fuels and oils and basically making sure that everything is FIA compliant and the specifications that the team wants it at. Whereas a race day, like on a Friday or Saturday, for example, definitely I would say a lot more fast paced. Before and after the sessions, we collect samples of lubricants from the cars, which is, a blood test for the car to point out its condition,
And come Sundays, obviously we're locked in Parc Fermé. Is that actually maybe counterintuitively slightly less fast-paced compared to your days before where you're preparing for that Sunday?
We have less analysis to be done on the race day Sunday. But after the race, when everyone finish, then we still do our analysis to tell the engine, is it okay to be used for the next race or not?
Do you have any favorite memories from the journey? Doesn't necessarily have to be race weekend specific, but anything that stands out?
For me, it's probably actually one of your favorite memories because it was your first race win in Brazil 2022.
I remember.
For me, that was the first year that I joined the team as well. So it was sort of the first real feel of true success, I guess,
absolutely.
for us. So,
remember that very well.
Yeah, it was a tough year on the whole for a team, for our team. So in general, just being able to feel that was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the fans at home who may not know about all of the different products that go into our power units, could you take us through some of those products, probably starting off with Syntium?
Yeah, so Syntium is essentially, we look at like the lifeblood of our car because it's our engine oil. So it has to withstand very high temperature, high pressure environments. And while doing so also provide lubrication and prevent overheating. So through that, it's very critical analysis with Syntium, especially because the team will be looking at that to monitor the health of their engines. So yeah, it's definitely important, probably the most important fluid for us,
And what about Tutela?
The Tutela is our functional fluid. So basically, the intent of the fluid is actually to maximize the efficiency of the targeted component. So we have like hydraulic Tutela, and also we have gear oil Tutela.
Yes.
And one more is the earth cooling system Tutela. So basically it have its own dedicated purpose to maximize earth is maximize the cooling of the car.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the gearbox is to smoothen your gear shifting. Yeah.
I think this is so interesting, and what people may not recognize is the importance of the fluids, and if it's able to cool the car more efficiently, we can bring our bodywork, our side pods narrower to get the aerodynamical gains. And finally, of course, Primax.
So Primax is our fuels for Formula One. So we focus on the efficiency of the output to give the maximum performance engine.
Of course. But I think a lot of people just see it as the food that you're eating to give you the energy and the fuel you're putting in the car to get you from A to B, but not necessarily thinking about performance improvements it can bring.
So the fuel are being blended. So we specifically like component, and then we mix together with the additive to give the maximum output that we can give to the engine. So that's why the engine and the fuel actually being developed together.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. It has to be in combination.
Yeah.
How do all those fluids feel for you out on track?
Well, for us, you absolutely know the impact it has when you're doing the gear shifts, and when you're having a smoother gear shift or a slightly more aggressive gear shift. So we're always pushing you guys to have the most amount of efficiency there, and everybody on the control side. And we're also very aware of the impact it has on the earth cooling and how that then impacts the aerodynamics of how big we need to have the bodywork for the hot races or equally on the cooler races. So we're always aware of the positives it brings, and also when we need to keep on pushing the boundaries to find those incremental gains. Obviously, the products we're using, we need maximum efficiency, maximum performance. Through that development you're doing with Mercedes and PETRONAS, how does that then feed into the customer for your everyday user?
Yeah, so I mean, F1 has been seen as sort of like a test bed for future technologies. Like, for example, in 2014, when we were in the hybrid era of engines, that also forced us to look at new lubricants and fuels as well to cater to that. And that hybrid fluid technology that we've developed is then trickled down eventually into commercial road cars as well.
I think that's a great thing with Formula One at the moment. When you're in a competitive environment, you've got to push the boundaries and you've got to innovate, and that will have such a positive impact on the world, really. We're all reliant on fuels, we're all reliant on cars and things being moved A to B, aviation. And I think we're in this journey at the moment that we're having a direct positive impact for millions and millions of users.